You got to say it. Okay, all right. Yeah, so marriage tips, okay? I know we've been going over marriage and dating and relationships and friendships, but because I struggle to want to share on, and I was like, you know what? I was gonna do roles, the roles of a wife and roles of a woman when they get married and all that. But it just dropped on me. Why don't I share tips on how to keep the spice in marriage, how to keep the intimacy, how to keep the fire going, right? I remember going back and I remember dating Megan, right? And it didn't take me long to know that Megan was the one. I was so into her, whether it was the conversations we had, how I could just look at her and stare at her all day and being a weirdo about it. But I found out that the initiation is one thing, keeping the spice in the relationship is another thing. I got her. Finding a Mr. or Mrs. Right is not a one-way ticket to happiness, but only the beginning of a journey of learning to love each other. So we can't say, oh, I initiated it, we're married, and that's it. It's not a one-way ticket. After that, the real work begins. That fire, you have to keep it hot. You got to put logs in a fire, and there's some things that it takes effort on our part. Just because I got Megan doesn't mean I quit pursuing her, okay? And so I want to go over some pointers, some helpful ways to assist us in making this happen, okay? Philippians 4:8-9, a beautiful verse. And is Marcus here? Okay, well, I really do need him up here just for this one because I really, man, it's some pointers, okay? Philippians 4:8-9. Look what it says here. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fixing your thought on whatever is true, honorable, right, and pure, and lovely and admirable. Think about these things that are excellent and worthy of praise. And look at the next verse. Keep putting into practice all you've learned and received from me and everything you heard from me and saw me doing, then the God of peace will be with you. Paul's like, listen, he was like telling the Philippian church, look, if there's excellent, if there's any example that's praiseworthy, if they're honorable, admirable, man, think about it. Think about it, study it. And then he says, let me go a little further. If you see me do it, you heard me do it, you do the same thing and the God of peace will be with you. He wasn't afraid to disciple people, and he wasn't afraid to say, hey, listen, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to give you pointers. I'm going to give you things that help you win in life, okay? So hopefully this is one of these messages, okay? So let me start with this verse, and let me start with the wives. All right? I'll start with the wives first, and there's going to be like 15 or 16 points, so I'm going to go real quick. And if you're writing notes, I mean, you're going to have to do it, you're going to have to, do it real quick, okay? But check this out. Ephesians 5:33, it says this. So again, each man must love his wife as he loves himself. And I want to focus on this part of the verse. And the wife must respect her husband. Okay? Wives, must respect your husbands. I want to go over how to respect, and tips how to do this and how to do this to your man, okay? First, one thing I want to go over is let the little things go. Don't hang on to small annoyances, okay? Many marriages slowly deteriorate over the smallest, silliest things. He doesn't take out the trash, and he snores at night, and he leaves the laundry on the floor, and oh my God. And if we think about some of these little things, they're not a big deal. If we let that stuff get behind us, right? And then instead of focusing on that, focusing on loving him instead. Okay? All right, that's just a pointer, okay? Here's another one. Remember, he's not your girlfriend, okay? He's not always going to understand. He's not always going to relate. So don't have unreasonable expectations. Sometimes he won't get what you're feeling or struggling with. He won't get it. He's made differently with different experiences, different strengths, different weaknesses. So don't demand that he be something he can never be, and that's a woman. He can't. Don't even expect him to do that. And if he does, then maybe you guys got to go to therapy or go to another, you guys have another tip meeting, okay? But here's another one, number 3. But be sure he is your best friend. But be sure he is your best friend. Invest in not only the intimacy, but invest in your friendship. Find activities. Why? Because the hot sensation, that's going to be over with. Then you got your friend. Okay? Oh, we got married. Oh my God. The honeymoon phase is just a phase. It's not forever, you know? So you have to work at keeping that honeymoon phase going. And here's the thing, being a friend and having her as your best friend or having him as your best friend will help. So find activities that you guys both enjoy doing, spending time together. Do the kind of things that friends do. Talk and laugh and work and play. Share your heart with him and talk about your hopes and your dreams and ask him about his too. Be genuinely interested in what he has to say so that, and here's the thing, so that you care about what he's talking about and he knows it, okay? Be interested and care about what he's saying. And here's another one. While you're doing that, number 4, listen without interruption. A woman can frustrate her husband by doing this. I'm telling you, this is grounds for frustration. And try hard. And here's the thing, men have to do the same thing, okay? So this ain't just the woman, because I see my wife shaking her head. The men have to do the same thing, okay? Here's another one, and this is a good one. Number 5, avoid belittling, talking down to him, and being sarcastic. Yeah. This will make him lose confidence in his leadership of the household and cause him to resent you. You could be the most beautiful girl, but he will look at you as the most ugliest. I don't care. Look at. Once it's in his heart, you could be the most. Oh, she's so beautiful. Oh my God, why don't you just stay? But if you resent and you belittle and you do all this stuff, I'm telling you, you're gonna become. And vice versa, the same thing. You could be the most handsomest, right? Oh, he's just so handsome. Oh, girl, why you do? Man, he just became ugly in your eyes because of belittling, talking down, and being sarcastic, just making him lose confidence in your trust and your love and your faith and your his ability to think in himself. All right, number 6, let him know verbally you appreciate him for his work. See, good behavior rewarded is good behavior repeated. We celebrate, what we celebrate will be repeated. Let him feel good about what he's doing right. And how can we do that? Verbally letting him know, okay? All right, number 7, support his goals and aspirations, okay? Not only be his critic, but be his cheerleader as well. And be honest, though. Give honest feedback. You know, if there's something that you know, hey, you know what, let me be honest over here. He will appreciate that. And you want him to know that he's getting honest feedback from you. And check this out. So when you praise him, he'll believe you. Oh, you're doing a good job. He will believe you. Why? Because you were honest over here. And so he's like, dang, she's going to be honest with her praises, but support his goals and aspirations. And don't just be his critic, but be his cheerleader. All right, number 8, take care of your physical appearance. Keep that man coming back. I'm married now, so slippers and house shoes all day. No, I'm going to tell you something. Keep that man coming back. Show him, look, you're worth dressing up for. You're worth looking good for. Keep that man coming back. Okay, number 9. Some of the girls are getting crossed up here. Okay, number 9. Prioritize sex in your marriage. Okay, here's that word again. Dun, dun, dun. I said it in church. Yes. Studies show that women don't want affection, they need it. But I'm going to flip this study. They also say men don't want sex, they need it. I remember a preacher, I'll give you a quick example. There was a preacher, and there was a wife going to him, and he said, oh, preacher, man, my wife, he has a demon. My husband, he has a demon. He wants to have sex all the time. And he said, well, what do you suggest I do? He said, I don't know, I have the same demon. He said, I don't know. I got the same demon. I don't know. All right, so check this out. If you have been celibate and then you open up that appetite of yours, if you open up sexually, it's very hard to close that. So my recommendation is that you open up the appetite with your husband or your wife. Why let the beast out if you only have to tame him once again? Sex is for marriage. Well, why? Oh, the Bible says it, and just think about it too. Like you have kids, and you have your most intimate. You're giving the most of your You're giving your all. One of the biggest expressions that I love you is you're giving yourself. Okay. All right. Number 10. Come under His leadership. God makes the man responsible for the household. He's going to answer for this. And the women will answer of how they helped him. And remember, the women are helpmates. They're helpmates. Come under his leadership. Well, I just don't trust. Well, I mean, you married him. I'm sorry, you married him. That you should have took care of that in the dating stage. That's why dating is so important. Courting and getting to know for a very long time is very important. If you hurried up, you get hurried up results. You'll figure it out later. I promise you. Or you can figure it out during the dating and courting and relationship stage. It's up to you. Good preaching, Jojo. I get it. Okay, number 11. Give him space. What am I saying here? There are times where he needs to hear from God and be confirmed to God. Confirm, when I say this, means that, God, do you approve of me? Right? Are you confirming what I'm doing, how I'm living, what decisions I'm making? And there's times where he needs to be confirmed to God, and he needs space to do this. He needs to hear from God. And a lot of times this happens when he's spending time alone with God and reading God's word. I'm not talking about leaving him alone forever, but let him decompress in God for a moment or for a little bit. Let him breathe a little bit because he needs God. He needs to be in God's presence. And here's another one. Stay loyal. A man needs to know that his wife is loyal to him. See, this brings security. This brings strength to him. This brings strength to his livelihood. He can walk into the rooms with his head up held high. He can walk out with his chest puffed out. He knows his wife got his back. He could be facing all hell breaking loose in his life, but my wife and me and her, and she's loyal to me, man, I can approach problems and life's problems with a bold stance. Why? Because I got my wife and she's loyal. I got my ride or die with me. It's 13, show interest in his activities and do them together. Your man loves when you are by his side. I don't care what he says. He loves when you're by his side. It's me and my boo, okay? And here's another one, right? This is a good one too. Support his family. 14, support his family. When you love someone, right, you love the ones he loves also. Supporting his family is supporting him and the ones that are dear to his heart, okay? And then number 15, check this out. Don't gossip about your marriage struggles to others. I'm going to shed some light on this one, okay? I'm going to shed a little light on this one. If you have a mentor, make sure your husband approves of that person, okay? Make sure that he's fine with it. You might be having a mentor, and there's some things that your life that you open up to your mentor. I get it, but make sure your husband is fine with it. A real man would say this, man, even though what they're telling you is tough, but it's going to be challenging to me, it's going to help us in the long run and help us stay healthy in our relationship with God and each other. Let's do it. Okay? I'm going to give you one, and I'm going to flip this to the men, okay? Just the tips for the men. Ephesians 5:33, it says this. So again, I say to each man must love his wife as he loves himself. There's another scripture that says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loves the church. You know how much Christ loves the church? He died for it. Okay. Here's some tips. Number 1, take her out on dates. Take her out on dates. We have to keep dating our wife after we get married. The pursuit and chasing her is still on, and it cannot be turned off. You still have to chase her. One more time, guys. Women don't want affection. They need it. And what helps me is taking her on surprise, spontaneous mini dates and talk to her and eat with her. Just because you want to be around her, this makes her feel loved. I just want to be around you. I just want to be alone. I want to be with you by what nobody. I'm just me and you by ourselves. Nobody knows us. This is just me and you. It makes her feel loved. Not only that, but here's another one. I'm not really good at this one, but it still helps. Open the car door for her. Especially if you're in a hot seat, this will help, you know. If you want to be extra, do this, you know. If you want to be extra, you know. They might not say it, but they will smile when you do. They might not say it, but they will smile when you do. You just open that, you just cracked open her heart just a little bit. That's all you need sometimes. All right, number 3, take photos of her when she asks without complaining. I'm just going to say one sentence about this, because if we don't, someone else will. Okay, all right, I'll leave that alone. Number 4, give her compliments. All right, give her compliments on her looks and her character. See, this is something that doesn't cost money and has more results than money, giving compliments. You don't have to waste $1 million on flowers. Oh, yeah, let me give you $150. If you compliment her, that means more than a flower. She has to know there's no one more interested in her than you, and that she's the apple of your eye, and you have to give her compliments. I don't care if it shouldn't even be exhausting. We should want it out of the overflow. We should want to say something to her and compliment her on her looks and on her character. All right, number 5. This is a good one too, boy. This is a good one. Never, ever look interestedly, longingly, lustfully at another woman with your eyes or indulge in lustful thoughts. We have to train ourselves not to do this. We should not be scouting and hunting with our eyes for other women. That's not your job. It's pretty good. Okay. All right. Psalms 101 verse 3. Look what it says. I will refuse to look at anything vile or vulgar. And it ... and he goes to explain it. So in other words, he's saying, I'm making a covenant. I'm not going to do that. Right? Women need to know that they are the apple of our eyes. This gives them security and boldness to their approach at life. They can approach life with a stride and not with a doubt. They don't have to doubt about you, about their home life. They got you. Number 6, show approval by the way you look at her. Okay? Show approval by the way you look at her. She can feel what you're thinking and what you're feeling. Whether or not you approve of her, of what you approve of what she said, or you approve of what she's doing. Just know she's always scanning with her expert radar signals, picking up and reading our demeanor. Just know that. And she's looking for your approval, whether you know it or not. She's looking for it. She wants to feel affirmed. And some of our looks, we have to watch it. That's the way I look. What changed the way you look? Get your look saved. Get your face saved. Oh, I'm saved. Well, get your face saved. Let your face shine, you know? All right, number 7. Tell her when you need her. Tell her when you need her. The fact of the matter is, the fact of the matter is this: we do need her physically, we need her emotionally, and we need our wives spiritually. I think women like to hear that they're loved, they wanted, they're needed. Women, I think they like to hear that, and they like to be requested for help. Like, I need your help with this. They need to know I bring something to the table. I do help you. You're not a lone ranger, that me and you, I am a helpmate. I am there for you, okay? Number 8, hold her hand publicly. Hold her hand in public. This simple act of affection shows that you want to show her off publicly. Make it public. She's mine. You know what I'm saying? Just put your arm, be extra about it. Because I'm going to say this one time again. Women don't want affection. They need it. They need it. Get your hand off me. That pursuit. Not right now. Well, I just want to hold your hand, that's all. For what? I just want to do it. And look, they scream for it. They might not verbally admit it, but their psyche and their wiring want it, okay? They need it. Here's another one. Number 9, eat without your cell phone. Eat with her without your cell phone. This shows that all your attention is on her. This is us time, all right? I'm pretty good at that too, okay? Number 10, kiss her more often without trying to do extra. Kiss her more often without trying to do extra. This is giving affection and showing her loving, okay? Number 11, listen to understand, not just to respond. See, this lets her know that you're with her, that you can be counted on. A lot of times we want to solve all their problems, but what is needed from us is just to let them know that we understand, okay? Let them know, I'm listening to understand, not just to respond. I'm with you, right? And number 12, and all of us should be doing this, pray for your wife. What you pray for is what you get intimate with. Prayer breeds or reproduces intimacy. Intimacy means this, into me, you see? So prayer breeds intimacy. You get more into her. You root for her. You want her to excel. Prayer brings love and it brings affection into our hearts. What you pray for, you get intimate with. All right, number 13, share with your wife what God has spoken to you. This gets her involved with your relationship with God. You're learning to walk with God together, and you're inviting her to walk with God with you, okay? Number 14, and this, I'm almost done. Help your wife reach her calling. She has goals and has desires in her heart that she wants to fulfill in God, and it's our job to give her wings. We can be honest if the timing's not right, but please let us consider what they have in their heart for God, okay? Number 15, support her family and her in-laws. This shows that we're into her. This shows we care about who she cares about, okay? And then number 16, provide for her financially. This is a part of our responsibility package. We are the foundation of the family, and they're counting on us. We have to be good at the way we handle money, and we have to be good at generating it. That's our responsibility. And provide for her financially, so it's less pressure on her. She can focus on taking care of you, the house, the kids, whatever else, right? That way she know, like, you guys are killing it in life, and you're killing it in your marriage, right? I know a lot of people get divorced all because of financial problems. They have a financial strain. It gives them more stress in their relationship. They can't vibe together because the finances are not right, and we're arguing about this. And can we go out? Nope. Can we do? Nope. And because it's not right, or wasteful spending. One thing I found out early on as a Christian, I took a faith and finance class, and they broke it down that anybody can save. They just made it very clear. Anybody can save. If you want to save and you want to budget right, you can do it. It's possible, okay? I'm going to conclude with this. These are just some tips to help us. And my prayer is that we have a healthy, thriving relationships, and we have thriving marriages. So I'm looking at you because